So after that god-awful movie we watched in the last video, which that movie was terrible. That was the worst thing I have seen so far. So after going from a crappy movie to this week, we are going to a much better movie, which I've only seen it a few times, but every time I've seen it, I enjoy it just a little bit more every time I see it. So we are checking out today the 2019 Netflix film Klaus. And this was actually a movie I saw just out of randomness. Like, it popped up on Netflix one day, and I was like, sure, I don't have anything else better to watch. So I ended up watching it, and I was like, wow, this is not a bad movie at all. So if you like the video, hit the sub button. I don't care if you like it. You don't even have to like it. At this point, I just need subs. I don't even care. You don't even have to like. Don't even hit the like button. Just ignore the like button. Just hit the sub button instead, because the likes will come. Subs, different story here. So let's get a quick rundown of the cast here before we get into this lovely story. So we have Jason Schwartzman as Jasper, the legend J.K. Simmons as Klaus. We got Rashida Jones playing Ava, Will Sasso playing Mr. Ellingbo. We got Sergio Pablo. I don't know if he says it with the S or not. I'm not 100% sure. But he is voicing Pumpkin and Olaf. He is also the director, the screenwriter, the producer. Like, this man did a lot of crap. We got R.I.P. Norm Macdonald playing Mogans, the boatman. We got Joan Cusack playing Mrs. Crumb. And that's basically the small, short cast there, you know. Decently good big names there, I have to say. Like, there's a lot of big names here, and you know what? I enjoyed a lot of their characters. I know that we're getting a little too early there, but this cast is mwah. It's the chef's kiss here. So, let's get into this little rundown here. So, basically, this movie started off in a way that I wasn't 100% sure how it was going to go. Like, you see all these newsletters and everything, and then you get introduced. Like, I thought this was something totally different when I first watched it. I was not expecting Postman. I don't know why. I was thinking more war, but that's probably because it gave you that vibe, I guess. But we get to meet our main character, Jasper, who right off the back gives you Cusco vibes from Emperor's New Groove. That's immediately what I got from him right off the back here. Like, he just basically plays the stereotype rich kid where he doesn't want to do any kind of work, as his dad even goes over. His dad doesn't go over him. The drill sergeant, he asks him, like, hey, give me a rundown of his backstory here at this academy. Which basically we find out Jasper's just jack crap at this. Like, he is just dog shit. You know? He ain't able to do any of it, which, you know, as he is saying, oh no, shucks, I sure suck, guys. I guess I'm just gonna have to go home. Like, you knew he was doing it on purpose. But his dad said, no, son, that's not happening this time. I'm sending you to the worst absolute place. And it's gonna be this place called Smearsenberg. Like, Smears. Yeah, that place. Basically, the desolate of the wasteland of the world, apparently. Which even the drill sergeant's like, damn, man, that was kind of, too much. And Dad's like, I don't care. He needs to sort his fucking life out, eh? So Jasper is just blown away by this lovely gray place, and one scene that really stuck out to me was he sees these kids who are looking like some Addams Family kids 100%, as they are just slowly stabbing this poor snowman with carrots. And I don't know why, but it always made me laugh. It was nothing special. It just made me laugh every time I saw it. So the boatman is just a complete dick, because he immediately tells Jasper, like, hey, see that bell there? Just go ahead and ring it. They'll bring out the whole welcome party, and there's going to be cake and happiness, and there's going to be hugs just for you. So obviously Jasper, not knowing well, because rings this bell. Apparently it's a fighting bell. what kind of freaking place has a fighting bell? Like, what? It's just, what? So even he says, like, why do you have a fighting bell? Like, that just doesn't make sense. But apparently, these two families, clans, I don't really know. I think it's clans. But apparently, these two just do not get along, but they're sharing this town together. Like, maybe have one of them leave. Maybe that would be better. Maybe just put a straight divide on your country, state, whatever. I don't know what it's actually. I'm gonna just your area, you know. Just put a freaking long ladder, just so no one ever has to see each other. Build a wall, you know. But apparently these two don't get along. Jasper runs into Ava, who she's just trying to save money to get the hell out of this hellhole because she came up here to teach kids school. Well, guess what? Nobody wants to learn jack squat because everybody hates everybody. So she's saving up money while she does all these fun fish cut guts, just, you know, all the lovely stuff. And she even says, like, the boatman made you ring the bell, didn't he? Yeah, happens all the time. And the guy even comes in like clockwork, like, oh, there you are, shucks, you got away from me there. So brings him to his little post office here and finds out that it's just a hellhole. Like, it is a piece of crap. And yeah, I don't know how those chickens are still alive. That really blows my mind that the chickens are still alive. But the whole point of him being in this place, if he can do that, he's able to come home, get all the perks back and everything like that, and he can live his luxury life. You know, this is the lesson he needs to learn. Well, this is the one place in the whole world that doesn't send freaking letters. That's why his dad sent him there. And just like, nobody gives a crap. So he's like an absolute jerk to this one kid who loses his letter. Like, just give the damn the picture back to the kid. He's like, well, if you do this, 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 and I can send it back to you. Well, yeah, that doesn't work out for you. And the dad ends up sending his weirdly looking dogs at him. It was just a very weird looking dogs. I don't know what's up with those dogs. Maybe you should feed them, I think, sir. So as he's up in the woods, because Mogans decides to say, yeah, you should go up to the woods and meet the woodsman up there. You know, he seems like a nice, friendly guy. He will in no way kill you and chop you up into pieces and hang up your skin. So Jasper ends up Jasper ends up heading up there, which he is living in the 1993 rules of kids where you just break in the house. At least this one, he says, hey, I'm in your house. Like, at least he gives a warning, unlike most of the people we've seen in other movies. They just walk in and just don't say shit. They're surprised when people are mad at them in their house. So the woodsman ends up coming home because he sees, like, the toys. Well, let me back up here. Jasper sees a wall filled with a bunch of toys, ends up setting one off. So the woodsman comes in here, ends up seeing him, and Jasper's obviously horrified because there's this big, beefy hurley of a man. And yeah, I'd be scared of this guy too if I was him. So the wind, there's a whole well, not a whole backstory, but there's a whole reason why this whole wind seems spiritual to this older man who is Klaus. I'm just going to call him Klaus because I'm not going to call him the woodsman. It's just going to, yeah, that's Klaus right there. That's who we're meeting. I don't know why I just didn't say that to begin with. But, like, the wind pushes this picture in front of him and says, yeah, you basically need to take this to the postman and ask him where this picture came from. So, as he's doing that, the postman, obviously, Jasper ends up showing him where it came from. Ends up saying, basically, hey, bring it back to him, you know? The kid needs the picture, I'm going to send. Like, why did you even need that many? One, how are your dogs not dead from stepping on those by accident? And then Klaus just ends up saying, you know what, let's just bypass this whole area and let me throw you into the chimney. One, you have excellent aim, which you should probably be a basketball player or something with the aim you have. Two, he managed to fit through that pretty damn easy without cracking his neck or anything. So props to him. But obviously he gets in there, drops the pitcher back off to this old man, which also has a toy in it. This little boy being all excited and happy about this, it warms his heart up a little bit. But obviously has to run away. He can't be there. But all these other kids now, after seeing what happened last night to this one kid, now they all want to write letters. Jasper's obviously going to manipulate this in a way where he can get a benefit out of it and has all these kids write letters to Klaus. And as he does that, he's making his numbers go up higher and higher. So he's found some way to get out of here sooner. So he's got to start this friendship with this man Klaus, who is absolutely terrified of, which I don't blame him. If I didn't know him personally, I would be terrified too a little bit. But the wind ends up pushing pushing dust, snow dust, I don't really know, flurries around Jasper, and this is the sign that Klaus needs to be like, yep, I can trust this man. We will do this, and we will send toys to these kids, and we will make everybody happy. People who are not happy are the two, I think, Ellingbo, and Crumbs. They're just not gonna have this, as that little boy ends up playing with this little girl who's on the other side. Obviously, the clans don't like that. They're wanting to destroy this, get rid of this, We get a whole backstory of why they hate each other and why they will never like each other. Then we get our nice little compilation of Jasper trying to deliver these toys without getting killed, which Klaus just kind of sits there and goes, nope, you go and do it. I don't really give a crap. You go and do it. This is your job now. So, after all that fun stuff, more and more kids decide to come and do this. He's starting to get a little bit happy because now these kids are starting to do this, but now he's got kids who aren't able to read or write, so he sends them to Ava, who now gives her a purpose, which she's not happy about it. She wants to just get the hell out of this place. She's like, what is wrong with you, Why are you making these kids come here? Why are you making me care again, So, you get a little bit of a montage of Jasper being a Klaus and finding out the rules, hey, write a letter to Klaus, he'll get you whatever toy you want, and he's special because he can fit through your chimney, he does it all in one night, but if you're naughty, this is what you get a lump of coal for, and, the kids in the school are like, are we ever going to learn, teacher? And she's just slowly picking away her shell that she had of being like, I don't give a crap about this place. But she ends up digging into her savings fund to buy books and paper and all this stuff for the kids so they can finally learn stuff here. They're gonna learn. They're gonna learn how to write letters to Santa Claus. I don't know why I said it like that, but yeah. So, obviously, with the more letters they're getting, there's more toys that need to go out, and obviously with more toys going out at night, they need a way to get there. Well, the one poor little horse just can't do it anymore, so they say, hey, what about those things over there? And they're like, you mean those reindeer? They're like, oh yeah, let's go get those reindeer. So we get to watch Jasper desperately try to catch one while Klaus just kind of slowly leads one there. So you get the nice little intro of how the reindeer ended up being part of this. So, they also find out, that being a good kid and stuff like that and treating others nicely will get you presents as well, because there's a naughty and good nice list, so you don't want to be on the naughty side. So, as the kids are getting nicer and being nice to their parents and helping all the adults around, it starts warming up the adults themselves, so they start becoming a little bit better. Obviously, the two clansmen are not happy about this. They don't like what they're seeing. But hey, the town's starting to joy up a little bit. The town's starting to be a little bit more happier. There's almost more color coming back into this place. And obviously, the two main people are just like, we gotta find a way to destruct this. We can't have any of this crap happening. But it just builds the legend of Klaus, basically. And they're doing nothing but helping him out. So they've come together and realize, all right, look, we freaking hate you. You freaking hate us. Let's freaking hate this one person because I'm freaking sick of everybody being happy and having book clubs. Book clubs are a no. So they end up having this truce together, ended up realizing, like, look, we need to get together and end this shit. Like, we cannot have this go on anymore. So they come up with a plan or a truce to get rid of this. Obviously, the snow leads Klaus inside the house, which he thinks it's a sign um to check back in there, and he thinks he sees his wife in there, but it's just Jasper. But Jasper ends up pushing more and more about having all of this happen on Christmas and telling we can build toys for all these other kids, and ends up pulling on a sheet that's covering up a spot where Klaus does not want to see this. He's angry. It's like, hey, don't you touch that, cause that's not what I can't do a J.K. Simmons voice. Oh God, that really just sounded. Yep, we're gonna move on because that was just terrible. So he's not happy about it. You know, Jasper overstepped basically, and now he's gonna go talk to this little girl who he can't understand the damn word she's saying. So he takes her to Ava and hopefully helping her possibly figure out what the hell she is trying to say. So Jasper says, screw it. If he doesn't want to help me, I'll help this little girl get the toy that she ends up wanting. So Klaus ends up coming to his senses and realizing, look, maybe Jasper's right. Maybe I need to do this to get over this, and I am enjoying what I'm doing for these kids. You know, I didn't think I could ever feel like this, but the joy of watching this little girl that, you know, we just made this boat sled thing for her, like, I'm realizing I'm loving that, and I'm loving that warmth. So he ends up telling Jasper his little backstory here about how him and his wife, you know, wanted to have all these kids, and they were going to have this big, huge family, and basically, you know, he kept making toys and waiting, making toys and waiting, and no kids. No kids ended up coming, and then unfortunately his wife got sick and ended up dying, and he basically shut himself into the woods and basically kept himself, you know, to himself. You know, he didn't want to open up again because he didn't think he could ever feel that warmth again, which obviously dropping off toys and being this happy merryman to all these kids, you know, bringing joy to them is bringing joy to himself, you know? So Jasper's happy that he's hearing this, but not realizing what he has done to this town. Like, even Ava says, do you even realize what you've done to this town? Like, you've made this town so much more brighter than it's ever been. You know, you're bringing this town to a new level of happiness where it's not a crumb place anymore. It's not a hellhole. It is a place where people would love to be. So that little blonde girl who he still cannot understand ends up bringing her family, and they end up helping them, not her, but they end up helping Jasper and Klaus get the toys all set, making this little wood shop, or that's not this wood shop, like this little shop for them to work and everything like that. But of course, timing be damned, is Jasper's dad finally comes and arrives as basically saying, hey, you did a great job. You ended up doing way over what we thought you were going to do, and now you can come home, which of course everybody in the shop hears that because we got to have that third act 3 breakup, because it's not a movie if you don't have that. So obviously Jasper's getting brought back home. Everybody's mad at him, at least that's in that shop there. Crumb and Ellingbo are both happy that that's happening. Jasper's just so destructive. Like, even Mogan's like, look, I've never seen anyone more depressed when they're leaving here than when they got here. So obviously Jasper ends up telling his dad, like, look, Dad, I'm not going anywhere. I started something here. I loved what I did, and I ain't leaving. Like, this is where I belong. So tells the little girl how his dad gave him a hug and said how proud he was, and he's like, That's all I needed right there. Like, I don't need the money. My dad telling me that he's proud and loves me. That's all I need. So let's get back to the shop and deliver these toys. But timing be damned. And they get there, and of course, these two clans are here ready to burn these toys. And Klaus is like, yep, sure, go ahead and burn them. Like, that's fine. We don't want anybody getting hurt. So Jasper comes in and ends up just ruining everything because the bag full of toys isn't a bag full of toys. It was just wood because, as Ava said, kids talk. And when kids talk, they end up telling other people what's going on. So you figure out, hey, parents are going to come burn the toys. We decided to make a diversion, and you kind of screwed it up and made it more complicated. So thanks, Jasper. But Klaus tells him, he's like, it wasn't all for nothing like you thought it was. Like, you basically showed us that you still care and that, you know, you made it worthwhile. So now we believe that you are truly a better person and you're not that person that you used to be. So they're able to drop off the toys. They have made a huge change to this town and basically the world in a way, to where now people from different clans are getting married to each other. They're able to go out further into the world and do more toys. But as the years are going on, Klaus is obviously getting older. And I guess on the 12th year of doing this, he says, Klaus ends up walking into the forest and poof, basically turns into dust. So now he's one with the world, which obviously makes Jasper sad. Can't find him, he tries to find everybody, but there is one bright side. There is one bright side of it all, as at basically every Christmas, he sits there and he waits for his best friend, and that's, he gets to see his best friend once every year, which kind of sucks, but he's never really gone because he's always going to be there in spirit for him. And yes, that is Klaus. And I still got to say, I still enjoy it. It is still a very good movie, and the 95 and 96% it gets on tomatoes, it definitely deserves. Like, this movie will make you cry, this will make you feel things, and just, I love it still. And the grading I decided to give on this one, which should not be a surprise with how much I love this movie, is an A+. Now, the cons in this aren't like the biggest thing in the world. They're not like a make it break it type of thing. Like, it doesn't really make the movie worse. But yeah, Jasper does remind me a lot of Cusco. Like, a lot of Cusco. Between his mannerism, how he acts, how he goes through his arc in a way. Like, it just all felt very cool. And that's exactly what like, the minute I saw him, I clearly got Cusco vibes from like that. And I couldn't stop thinking of it. Like, I just figured it was just him doing a Cusco impression almost. The other con was Jasper's arc, and Jasper at times I did not like. Like, he's kind of just a dick almost all the way. Like, it takes almost until the absolute end of the movie, and it's almost until the last couple of minutes is when he finally changes. Like, even Ava basically had to show him, like, look what you have done to this town. Like, you have changed this town for the better. Like, why are you thinking this isn't a place to be in? Like, he can't see it, and it's like, Jesus, like, how are you still a dick, man? And his arc, it's just, the reason why I put his arc down is it's still such a cliched arc, where this rich kid just doesn't want to do anything, wants to live off of his parents' money, gets sent somewhere, ends up making change. Like, it was just very by the numbers, and it didn't do anything for me. But yeah, that was the worst part of it. The pros obviously outweigh everything. The animation and the colors and the background, everything, just, I loved it all. Like, I am just a sucker for good animation, and I love looking at the backgrounds of stuff because it just, you find stuff that looks so interesting, and just how it's all detailed between, where we started off, the town that they're in, just all the different environments. Like, they all have their own story in a way without actually saying anything about the story. Like, just looking at it, you can tell what's going on in each area without anyone having to say anything. Like, I love that, and I love the animation to it. I did like the Klaus design. Like, I like that he is this big, beefy, hurly man that's like a woodsman and not just like a normal sized guy. Like, this dude towers over everybody, and I kind of like that design of it. I like Santa almost being like this big mega superhero who's like just not anybody you would think he could be, not being this nimble man, basically building a myth of him. Um, I also liked how it was a different telling of the Santa Claus. Like, it's basically a prequel of being Santa. Like, most of them, it's like, people transferring the Santa powers to this, or another person's becoming Santa and they're learning how to do that. Like, it always seems like that's how it works. So it was a nice little twist that this is a prequel and you learn how Santa actually became Santa. Like, you learn all the stuff, like the naughty and nice list, which in a way it was basically Jasper becoming Santa, but then building Santa in a way. Like, yeah, there was obviously, okay. I'm just rambling and I don't know what I was trying to say there. So, moving on. Also, I love the Jasper and Klaus relationship. It seemed like they just had a very great relationship, and like the chemistry from both of them is just, I loved it. Like, I could watch a movie of just them or have a series with just them. Like, I did enjoy all of that. It definitely made the movie that much stronger, the both of them. Like, I both loved them together, separately. Like, they both had their own good like scenes and emotions and all of that fun stuff. So, after watching Jack Frost, that piece of crap, this one was much of a highlight. And as you can tell, this being a 25-minute video, I just loved this damn movie. I loved everything about it, and this might be another Christmas classic for me. This one might be one that I might watch almost every single year, like a Christmas Story or Home Alone type stuff. Like, this might be in that category now. So, love this movie. Great time. I'm not sure when this will be coming out, but if it comes out around the time, all the happy holidays, because I don't know all the holidays, like, so I'm just gonna say happy holidays. Hope you enjoy it with your family. I will see you in the next video. Mwah! I love ya.